Hello, and thank you for being here with us. This is episode 2 of It's All Good. Look who's here for a chat. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Denise Belil, and I'm a mental fitness coach and serenity expert. I've done this recording live video with David Wetmore, and the beginning was a little bit shaky and the transmission wasn't that great. So right now I'm just redoing the introduction by myself, and I would like to introduce you my friend David. And David Wetmore is a PQ trained mental fitness coach. He works with organizations to create an environment in which the team members thrive and grow. David is also a certified Supercoach, Academy Transformative Coach, and Proctor Gallagher Institute Life Success Consultant. I love Bob Proctor. He does pretty good stuff. He incorporates his tremendous varied life experience in environmental engineer, business ownership and consultancy, auto mechanics, coal mining, labor representative, military services, and many more of his powerful yet empathetic coaching. So David is a friend of mine. We've met a few months ago in February of last year. And it's my pleasure to have him amongst us. The question that I have asked him, and you're going to get him at the middle of the answer, and who is he working with right now in general? And he said he's working with people in the medical industry, people that have so much stress. As we know, since COVID started, we have a lot of people that work in the medical industry, doctors and nurses and everybody else in that industry that are going through tremendous stress. And David is going to be explaining how he works with them, and then you'll be able to continue on this interview with him and I without much interruption. So thank you so much for being here with us, and I hope you appreciate this broadcast.
Tedious act that the medical people have to follow for ensuring patient privacy and all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then just the general, everything is getting more complicated with computers and software and so on. So it's being a doctor today is not like it was in the old days with the little black bag and the horse and buggy, of course. But
yeah, I remember when I grew up, we had the doctor coming to our place when we were sick, right? He would come with his little black bag and, come and poke and push and inject whatever medicine in us, So, but I imagine these doctors are under tremendous stress. So what is stress, and how do you define it in regard to your profession?
Well, stress, I define stress as a feeling. And I'll give you a little example of how to kind of simulate that feeling.
Yeah.
So if I were to set a board on the floor, say 3 feet wide and 10 feet long,
okay.
I won't convert that to metric for you, but you get the idea.
Yeah, yeah.
You probably would have no problem at all walking down that board. You might dance down it. You might do cartwheels down it if you have some gymnastic ability. And you wouldn't think have a second thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to move it up,
right? 3 by 5, it's
3 by 10, yeah.
3 by 10,
yeah.
Yeah.
So if I moved it up and say put it between 2 chairs, maybe a little bit. You might not be quite as free and going down it. You might think, I could fall, something like that. But you'd still probably be able to do it. But if I move that board up now, say 100 feet and put it between 2 buildings, exactly. And you see, that's the feeling right there of stress.
Oh, interesting.
It does not require, that's the thing about stress, it does not require an outside event or a circumstance.
It's all in here.
It's all in our head. Yes, we create the stress. It's created 100% from our thinking.
Very interesting. Actually, an interesting comparatively to that. Like my niece was visiting from Montreal. Hi, Chloe, if you ever watch this. And then she said, oh, we've planned to go to Capilano Bridge and Grouse Mountain. And Capilano Bridge is a big suspended bridge. And my first thought when she said that, I was like,
Yeah.
you know, walking up in the air and 300 feet below me of emptiness and people walking and the bridge going this way. But then what I've done, and because we do similar work, you and I, is all week I was telling myself, I'll have an amazing experience. I'll be able to walk, run, you know, lean over the edge, look all over, and I will be just so peaceful walking onto that bridge, because I removed that brain stress that I had about height and being on a suspended bridge. And guess what? It worked. I work on my psyche, I work on my stress, and I was able to remove it. So I can see how you can work with your clients, right? To work on eliminating that that kind of stress that they put into their mind, right?
Yes, and that's exactly what it is. It's self-generated. It's based on, well, worry. Worry is a big component of stress.
Yeah.
And worry is nothing more than taking the worst events of the past and projecting them into the future. So in the past, they're just memories. At this point in time, you know, at this point in time, our entire life is actually nothing but memories, a series of memories. You cannot, there's no place in your life that you can go back and find a place and pick it out and step into it or anything else.
Yeah.
It's all just memories.
Yeah.
So, and memories are nothing more than thoughts. And so therefore worry and stress and all those kinds of thoughts are just, they're fleeting. We have 100% control over whether we want to believe those thoughts, whether we want to allow those thoughts to run our lives, or whether we want to, just like your example of the bridge, they can simply be dismissed because they have no reality.
And that's what I realized as I was going through my week prior to going into that bridge. Is I was like, you know, other people are walking on those bridges and they're not scared. So why am I scared? There's no reason. I never fell off a bridge. I never been scared. I never, you know, like had an accident where I could memorize something that, oh, I hurt myself doing this. It was none of that. It was all fictional and all, you know, putting myself into scaredness, right? So I work towards eliminating that for sure. But talking about stress, can stress be good for you? Is there such thing as good stress?
Well, the way that I define stress, the way that I've defined it for this presentation,
yeah,
I say no. I say this type of stress is not good for you. Now, whether or not, if you want to step outside that definition that I made,
yeah,
and say that, like, say a deadline, say you have a deadline coming up for a report or an interview or something like that. That kind of, the stress that kind of gnaws at you about that could be productive, and then it could help you prepare. And in fact, it sort of did. It's almost like Shirzad's warning when he talks about pain, when we talk about it in PQ. You put your hand on the hot burner, and that's a warning that, you know, serious consequences lie ahead.
Yeah.
If we can pinpoint that stress and feel it, and most people feel it in their stomach, in their gut, somewhere down below. But if you can feel that stress initially, like you did for the bridge, you know, well, hey, wait a minute. There's nothing going on right now. How can I be feeling this stress? Or why would I be feeling it now, not later? Or why would I feel it later and not now? So it's kind of a warning sign. So stress can work as a warning that, hey, yes, you know, you need to get your butt in gear. You need to, you know, set up a plan or have a to-do list or something. But, you know, many people, what they will do in a situation like that is just stew about it. Oh, I've got a deadline coming. I'm not ready. And the more they think about not being ready,
they get even
more the stress builds, and the less likely. And what happens is, the thing about stress is you are so much less productive when you're under the control, when you're under stress.
Of course, yeah.
Right. Yes, if you can stop, take a few breaths with PQ, we do the PQ reps. Meditation is another great way to eliminate stress. But if you sense it coming on and you just stop, change your thinking, whatever it takes to change your thinking, then stress can be a warning sign more than
Nice. That's pretty cool. But in general, is stress normal? Is it normal for us to be stressed?
Well, I'd say it's normal in that so many people do experience it. So
in that sense, if you talk about the normal as a society, as a group, right?
Yes. But if we talk about the difference between normal and natural, if we want to go down a little bit different road here, which I love to talk about this too.
Yeah.
Normal and natural.
Okay.
So stress is normal, but it's not natural. If you look at little kids, up until they become indoctrinated by society and their family and their friends and everything, they never feel stress. You never see a 3-year-old stressing about anything. Something happens, somebody says something, boom, a couple seconds later, they're right back into it. They might cry for a minute or so, but we are not born being stressed out. Stress is just something that we learn. It's a learned behavior through our normalized conditioning of growing up.
Like the stress we experience in our society, for sure.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. Because you have the fight or flight mode, which is innate in everyone, but that's just an innate reaction that is momentarily, right?
Yes.
So that's not something that is normal. It's not something that we experience, that we should experience on a daily basis. It's like if you get, like here in Vancouver, we've had in the last couple of weeks, for some odd reason, some pack of coyote in Stanley Park that are attacking people. So wow. Yeah, there's a reason to be stressed if you have a couple of coyote coming at you and wanting to attack you. So that's a normal stress. That's a stress that is there to fight or flight. I wouldn't fight some coyote. I would run. Mind you, I don't know if we can face coyote. They're not that big, right?
No, I think, yeah.
You have to run. Climb a tree. Dogs don't climb trees, right?
Right. Yeah.
And but that's, like I don't go out walking alone in the Stanley Park these days because they're working on, containing these coyotes and doing something about it. But then with also talking like you bring up, like the normal for stress, but driving down the highway and being stressed out because you get cut off, you can have a little jerk of stress, but then you should return to non-stress within a few seconds, right? That's not something that should stay with us for the rest of the day.
Exactly. Yeah.
But unfortunately, we do most of the time keep it, right?
Well, yeah, there seems to be a certain comfort in being stressed, whether it's, if somebody is all stressed out because they're worried about the future, I don't know if it helps them because they don't have to think about the present, because they can project into the future and go, oh my God, it's going to be terrible. Well, what about the present? Well, everything is fine right now. Well, let's just take that feeling and move that into the future.
And were you able to do that with your clients? When you work with your clients, are you able to have that type of conversation and then allow them to experience that shift that you're talking about right now?
That is generally one of the first things that I work with clients on when I call a client is the stress and the peace of mind. And yeah.
That's great. And so, David, do you have anything that you would like to share with the audience, people that will be listening to this video? Things like, do you have a website you'd like to share or some information?
Yes, my website is, my company is Intentional Excellence, LLC. And my website is intentional-excellence-LLC. I know that's a mouthful. I can put it on the Facebook page if you want.
So intentional, and then what?
-excellence. LLC.
Let's see if you come out here. I think I found it. Let's see if that's your face coming up, and then I'll share it in the chat.
Yeah, please do.
So this way people can see it. Yes, I think that's definitely you. And let me put that into the chat here. That's fantastic. So people will be able to reach you, and if they are interested into working with you, right?
Exactly. Yes. Thank you.
Well, that's awesome. That'll be great. And so what type of program do you offer with people? Do you have like one-on-one or group coaching?
I do. I have both. The group coaching right now, I've just begun to promote a program that includes the positive intelligence.
Yes, yes.
So I have an 8-week program, which is 6 weeks of the positive intelligence with Shirzad. And then I have 2 weeks following that I'm using to just kind of cement the learnings to keep you on track.
Absolutely.
And then options, of course, to follow along with that. If a group, let's say a pod group, wanted to stay together and become a regular coach group, that would be fine. I'd be happy to do that too.
That's great. And can you repeat again for those that came, that watched it from the middle or something like that? Like, who are you looking for as clients? Because maybe some of them will listen to you and recognize themselves and say, oh, I need to talk to David. So can you tell us again who the people you'd love to be working with or that you're looking for?
Yeah, medical professionals are my bailiwick, but I'm happy to have a conversation with anyone.
Yeah.
Coaching, everybody could use a coach. Some people prefer to hire a coach. Some people like to spend a lot of money on a coach. But it's always great. I've always found amazing value from having somebody without a dog in the fight. That's the thing about a coach. To be a great coach, you have to be 100% objective.
Yeah.
No dog in the fight. Whatever happens in our conversation stays in our conversation.
Yeah.
And that's where the real change is made. When people look inside and actually take a good look at their own life and what are they putting up as their barriers, that when they start seeing that, that's when the real change happens. Oh,
that's awesome. That's super cool. Well, thank you so much, David. It was such a pleasure to have you with us today for our second episode of It's All Good. Luke is here to chat. And so as you know, everyone, I'm Denise Belil. I'm Serenity expert, and I'm also super excited to be communicating with you these episodes so that you get to know other people that are in the health and wellness industry. And if you feel a connection with these people, don't hesitate to contact them, because they're amazing people that I will be interviewing over the week. I'll be broadcasting every Monday. And right now I'm changing times because I'm experimenting and see who's showing up at what time. And then we'll see where that goes. Eventually it'll be at a fixed time. But right now, next week, I will be interviewing Yvonne at 9:30 our time, Pacific time. So keep your eyes open. I'll post something about Yvonne very shortly. And then you can connect with us next week at 9:30 a.m. on Monday. Thank you so much, David, for being here. It's a pleasure to have you. And it's a pleasure to know you also. I know I've known you since February last year, and I really appreciate you as an individual and as a coach also. So if you're watching this in replay, just put #replay and just say hello and where you're from. And I'd love to know who's watching. And if you have any questions for David, just put him in the chat and you can tag him, David Wetmore, and then he'll be happy to answer your question. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you, Denise. It was lovely.
Thank you, David. Bye-bye.